In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
We blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTAN TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Look at what the facts are.
And as you say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
and that's why, at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
We blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTAN TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment. Welcome to the Polity, reaching you live from the Abuja studios of King Adebayo Film and Theatre Arts Network, popularly known as KAFTAN Television, where we all imagine a beautiful world here. Well, the Polity is a program that goes below the headlines of unfolding political events within Nigeria and even beyond the shores of the country. My name remains Macauley Hunohashi, welcoming our esteemed viewers from around the world for joining us this auspicious afternoon on the Polity. So much is happening within the political firmament, and tonight's edition promises to be a bumper outing that you know regret joining us. I thank you most profoundly for finding time to stick out with us on the Polity. Well, like I said, so much is happening within the political firmament, and the program is going to be made interactive, incisive, engaging, as well as conversational. Conversational because you're going to be part of it. In the course of the show, we're going to display our telephone number right there on your screen so that you can begin to call to make the program interactive and conversational. Call us to verbalize your thought with us with regards to the topical issues lined up for you this afternoon. Let me quickly introduce my guest that has already joined me in the studio, and he's no other person than the frequent face that you see on KAFTAN Television. He's a lover of Nigeria. He's patriotic. He says his mind no matter whose ox is gored. And he's no other person than Olumuyiwa on lady.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Olumuyiwa is a communication specialist. He's a social crusader. He is a patriotic Nigerian. He's a youth activist. He's almost everything you can say that is nationalistic about him. And his worldview about politics, social issues, about almost everything is quite impressive. So he's going to be helping us break down the topical issues that we have for you bit by bit so that you can continue to understand it. And well, like I said, in the course of the show, not now, later in the course of the show, the telephone number will be displayed for you to begin to call in. Well, former First Lady Patience Jonathan poured cold water on any insinuation that her husband, former President Goodluck Jonathan, will return to Aso Rock, Nigeria's seat of power in 2027, vowing instead to vigorously campaign, according to her, for the re-election of Nigeria's current leader and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the wife of the former president who spoke at the weekend in Abuja after receiving an award, which is the Women Icon Leader of the Year award handed to her by a group, Accolades Dynamics Limited. She maintained that, having received the support of Tinubu and his wife Oluremi in 2011, it was time to reciprocate the good gesture. The event had in attendance the daughter of the current president and Iyaloja General of Nigeria, Mrs. Folashade Tinubu Ojo. Although, as of now, Jonathan has not declared any intention to run for the Nigerian presidency in 2027, some political groups and individuals, including the Nigerian Rescue Mission organization, have urged him to consider taking another shot at the position. Many people do believe that the only person that can be given the mandate on a political party's platform from the southern region of the country, to slug it out with the current president has to be Jonathan, because according to them, constitutionally speaking, Jonathan will be coming to spend only one term. And then that would have made the southern region to have spent 8 years. That's a term of 2 years. And then it will come back to the north, where the north will also take a shot at it and spend 2 years. One thing with Nigerian politicians, exactly. One thing with Nigerian politicians is that when they craft their permutations and continue to discuss in the political space, they leave the God factor aside. Nobody believes that this is what God can do. They, come out emphatically to say this is the one they want and they pursue it. Besides, the Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed has publicly stated that he will not pursue a presidential bid in 2027 if former President Goodluck Jonathan decides to run. Everybody knows the relationship that exists between former President Goodluck Jonathan and Bala Mohammed. During an event last year where a non-governmental organization encouraged Bala Mohammed to consider running for the presidency, Bala Mohammed expressed his difference to Jonathan, highlighting the former president's experience and leadership quality. Jonathan was defeated in 2015, if you may recall, by former President Muhammadu Buhari. Since then, during any election cycle, he has been rumored to be interested in returning to the Senate, but nobody will ever tell you that he has heard it from his mouth himself. Also, in the lead-up to Nigeria's 2023 presidential election, there were persistent rumors suggesting that Jonathan might consider running again. The speculations intensified when a group of supporters purchased a 100 million naira nomination form from the All Progressives Congress on his behalf, but he turned it down. Despite his major silence, some other northern political groups and allies and elites have continued to advocate for Jonathan's return in 2027, viewing him as a unifying figure capable of challenging the current administration. But to let this to rest came from no other person than his soulmate, his roommate, so to speak, his, half of his heart, Patience Jonathan herself. She said there's nothing in the villa that will warrant her or her husband, trying to come back to that, presidential seat. Well, lady, that was just to lay the foundation briefly for our conversation this afternoon. What do you make of that statement that came spur of the moment from the wife of the former president, Patience Jonathan?
Thank you. The wife of the former president is also a politician, deep-rooted in women activities, women politics, and saying the husband will not contest on behalf of the husband is something that we must believe, based on the fact that she is the wife of the former president, but at the same time, she doesn't have a final say on whether the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, will run or may not run. Having said that, the wife of the president must have discussed with her husband, and she must have seen the body language of her husband before coming to make that kind of statement, because any statement from her can be termed to be very valid, and Nigerians will be very, very interested. Why will the former president not want to run when constitutionally he has the right to do so? The reason is not far-fetched. Who are those calling him back to come and run? If I may ask, you know, those that don't talk much, they seem to be very, very intelligent, and they study events and study things happening around them. And I think former President Goodluck Jonathan falls into that category.
He's not flippant. He's not garrulous. He's not a typical Nigerian politician.
Who are those calling him to come and run? Hope they are not the same people that vehemently rejected his candidacy in the year 2015, despite the fact that they belong to the same political party.
But meanwhile, you know, the dynamics have changed.
It's very difficult to forget.
Yeah, it's difficult to forget. But so do you agree the dynamics have changed?
Yes. Who do you trust? You want to give your trust to those that were with you and they went back to betray you in 2015.
That's true.
So he has to be very careful, and that is what he's doing. He has weighed his options. I think I wasn't there when he told the wife that he would not be running. But I think he weighed his options and saw that those calling him to come and run, majority of them were the same people that rejected him in 2015. So what has changed? You see, the dynamics has changed, but the people have not changed.
The people have not changed.
So you want him to give his trust back to them. Twice beaten, one shy.
But they are dangling, something attractive. That's the term to spend.
As politicians, all they want to do is they are weighing their best options without considering the person they are calling to run. Without considering the person they are calling to run. These are candidate shoppers that will always shop for a candidate that will do their bidding, a candidate that will give them soft landing, a candidate that will give them what they want. And immediately, that is why you see people campaign vigorously for a candidate, and the candidate eventually emerges. Less than a year, you see them quarreling and say all sorts of things. Had I known, I wouldn't have supported you. Because the support is not based on principles. It's transactional. The support is transactional. And most of these transactional politicians, they shop for a candidate that will only do their bidding, and that is all. And they have seen President Goodluck Jonathan in one. Those saying zoning does not matter. Those saying former President Muhammadu Buhari will come and spend 8 years from Northwest. And it is fair for somebody from Northeast, in the person of former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, to come and spend another 8 years. They are the ones saying, oh, we need somebody that will come and spend only 4 years. If zoning does not matter, they should look for a Southern that can run and spend 8 years again.
Okay.
They should look for a Southern that can run and win and defeat the incumbent and spend 8 years. They should not be thinking about who can spend 4 years, only one term.
Okay.
If they were the same people in 2015 that say, oh, PDP has been fair to the South. PDP has been fair to the South. Atiku can come and become president after a Fulani man, after another Fulani man. Sorry to say that on national television, but that is the truth.
Okay.
They shouldn't be talking about an German coming to spend 4 years. They should talk about, and they should look for an Nigerian that can come and spend 8 years. Then Saudi will have spent 12 years. If they thought and they deem it fit to support Alhaji Atiku Abubakar in the year 2023 for him to come and spend another 8 years after another. They should look for another German. They should look for another Igbo man. They should look for another Yoruba man. They should look for another Isoko man. They should look for another Ishakiri man to come and win again and spend 8 years. So that's South will have.
Okay, well, the wife of the former president, that's Patient Jonathan, was a powerful force during her husband's presidency. She has come out to foreclose any call on her husband to return to the presidential race. And I urge anybody who is interested to, and I quote, step back. And now, Fola Shade, the daughter of the president, that's Iyaloja of Nigeria, was at the event where she made this. Yes, she told her not to fret about her father's, re-election. That's Tinubu's re-election, maintaining that the presidency is a turn-by-turn affair. It is the turn of Mr. President, to continue in 2027. That's what she said. What do you pick from that? How impactful is that kind of?
It's not a matter of turn by turn.
That's what she said.
What we are doing conventionally in Nigeria is north and south.
That's the turn by turn.
It's only fair for after a northern presidency for 8 years. It's only fair for the south to come and spend 8 years. Be it the incumbent president or another southerner. That is to us that thought towards that line in 2023. But those that did not think about that in 2023 cannot come now and come and talk to us about that. We already know where they belong. Nigerians know where they belong. Nigerians know how they wanted to cause crisis in the country due to their inability to do what is right, in their inability to make sacrifice. We cannot claim to politicians, those that are politicians. I am not a card-carrying member of any political party. We cannot claim to be religious as a people when we cannot make a sacrifice. We must be principled enough. Gandhi said that there are 7 social sins that would destroy a nation. Unfortunately, Nigeria is in the business of doing all the 7. Why? One of them, politics without principles. You are here today, tomorrow you are here as if you are a footballer. And play for Chelsea, you say Chelsea is your home. Then tomorrow you are in Manchester United, you say Manchester United is now your home. What do you want us to believe? Politics without principle. Our politicians lack principle. And when there's no principle, you cannot claim to have character.
Okay, talking about principle, I love what you're talking about.
Religion without sacrifice. If political party cannot compel you to do what is right, then religion should compel you to do what is right. If what we are claiming is what we are as a people. Because we claim to be very religious, but we are very, very ungodly. We don't put God first. We put our interest. And Gandhi said, religion without sacrifice will destroy a nation. So we must listen to people who have integrity, people who have character. And why Mama Peace is saying this is because they don't see those people as people with character. You cannot tell us that it was the turn of the North in 2015. Then 2023 is still 8 years later, it's still the turn of the North. 2027 is still the turn of the North.
Talking about principle.
Come on.
Talking about principles built on the pedestal of integrity and character. Now, the former first lady recalled that her relationship with the Tinubus has always been cordial, even before her husband, President Jonathan, became president, maintaining that this time around, rather than return to Aso Rock, she would stand firmly for Tinubu's return in 2027. Let me quote what she said verbatim. I didn't just know her, Oluremi Tinubu in quote, just because she is the first lady. No. We worked together. We worked as a group. We are groups. We worked when I was a deputy governor's wife. We worked when I was a governor's wife. I know her. I talked with her. I talked with Oluremi Tinubu even when my husband was the vice president. Oluremi stood with her husband and supported us during our first election. They supported us. So for me, I have a conscience. I cannot abandon my friend, whether you like it or not. Would you call this principle or political rhetorics?
Yes, I think they have left the past.
Yeah.
Because if you look at 2015, she may not be saying all this.
Yeah.
But who are we?
Who are we?
To continue to dwell in the past if the actors have not forgiven each other. And that is why we have problem in our polity in Nigeria. You understand? Supporters tend to ignite crisis among themselves and among the people they are supporting. While the actors are trying to make peace within themselves, their supporters ignite more crises. We have so many crisis merchants in the country. People will criticize her. I know after this statement, she must have received more than 1,000 calls.
That's right. I agree with you.
Those that can scold her directly will do that.
Why are you doing that?
Those that can scold her directly will do that. Those that cannot scold her directly will indirectly discourage her from making such pronouncements.
I'm happy you alluded to that.
Then, her husband must have received up to 2,000 calls.
So why are you allowing Mama Peace?
Why? Those that can do it directly will do it directly. Those that cannot do it directly will do it, Your Excellency. You know, psychopathy. But these people, I think they have left the past. The past is gone. They have now remembered in 2011. You can remember that PDP, when President Goodluck Jonathan was running, then in 2011, won overwhelmingly in Lagos and Southwest. And the credit was given to Asiwaju in 2011. So if that is what the family has decided, who are we to say otherwise? Who are we to say they should not do what they want to do? They work together according to her. They know each other. And I think it is high time we leave politics of bitterness. She's setting an example of the kind of person that her husband is. He doesn't believe in politics of bitterness. Even when he was younger than this.
Yes.
At this age, I don't think he will want to indulge himself in politics of bitterness.
You know, I love your hypothetical viewpoint about the telephone calls that she must have received.
Thousands
and the husband, whether directly or indirectly. But you know, at that event, she was so emphatic. She said that she had already alerted the president's wife, that's Olumuyiwa Tinubu. She had alerted her of her support even before the election draws near. And then she stressed that she was not, she was not given to keeping things in her mind when it's time to speak out. And she pointed out, point blank, that even if invited to return as First Lady, she said she would turn down the offer. Now, that kind of statement, how impactful will it be on those that are calling on President Jonathan and insisting that he has to throw his hat in the race again?
They have to sharpen their axe again and look for
another person.
We've seen that not less than 10 candidates were deceived into running in 2023, especially under the flag of All Progressives Congress. Because the problem of Nigeria is those that are close to the seat of power, they tend to dish out information that are not correct to the populace. And no matter how highly placed you are, you can be fed with incorrect information. Because even though you are a Senate president, you are not, your office is not in the filler. Your office is not in the presidential filler. So those around the president can come and tell you that, oh, the president talked about you. And he said we should advise him that he likes to hand over to you. We saw that in 2023. And when it will be time for President Tinubu to hand over, that may also play out, except he cautions his domestic aides. People were lured into buy form in 2023. You will be the one. You will be the one. President Buhari has said you will be the one. At the end of the day, the president, the former president, did not tell any of them to buy form. The former president did not emphatically. If you come to him and say, oh, I want to run for president, say, yes, you are qualified, you can run. Then they now come out to say, oh, the president has said, I can run. I should go and buy form and run. No, that is not true. Candidates, shoppers should focus on governance. It is quite unfortunate that still less than 2 years to the present administration, we are already talking about 2027. You know why? Because majority of our politicians are jobless. Majority of our politicians have no businesses. Majority of our politicians, they have nothing doing. So immediately after an election,
it's a profession as far as I'm concerned.
It
should be a vacation.
It should be a vacation.
It should be a vocation, yeah.
Yes, and it can even be your retirement.
Yeah. To offer service.
Now, I want to give you an example of Alex Oti.
Alex Oti.
Alex Oti left as MD, the overall of a bank.
Yeah.
Did well in the bank, came and became
governor.
Can anybody in good conscience tell us that Alex Oti is not doing well in Abia State?
He is doing well.
Can anybody in good conscience say
even the most acerbic of his critic can tell you that Alex Oti is doing very well?
He has made a mark somewhere.
That's right.
But you see people talking. Most of these people talking, they have been in the political space since the First Republic, carrying bag. So when those leaders in the First Republic were assassinated, they made themselves leaders in their own communities. And they grew without bringing the ideology of those leaders like Tafa Balewa, Amadou Bello, Awolowo, and Akitola. They left the ideology and they learned the politics from them. And they are now playing bad politics. How many people can you say is a replica of all these people I just mentioned?
Exactly.
None
of them.
That means you learn politics from them. You did not learn character from them. You did not learn integrity from them. Unfortunately, the few that learn those things from those people, maybe because of the way Nigeria treated those people, they decided not to play politics again. And they relaxed. And Nigeria is done for.
Okay.
That is where the rain started beating us as a nation. And we must correct that.
Okay.
Our wars in the society cannot be the ones leading us, cannot be the ones politicking, cannot be the ones within the political arena.
Okay, we are winding on this topic, and I want us to end on a very, very hilarious note, because Mama Peace is known to embellish her comments with hilarious flavor whenever she talks. And, and at that event, she did mention that, she looks younger outside government, and she noted that she no longer has any business in the presidency. And let me quote what she said. "I say it every day. Don't you like how young I look? People say, Mama, you are young. You are young. It is because I have a rest of mind. Yes, I don't want to go there. Let my friend be there. Let me also wahala her the way she used to wahala me when I was there. Let me also tease her until she comes out. She will be young. But for now, she won't be young." That end of quote. That was what Mrs. Patience Jonathan said. That's so hilariously put, and in a poetic manner.
That is the truth. That is the truth. You don't have rest of mind when you leave power. Look at former President Muhammadu Buhari.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Looking very fresh and robust.
You don't have to receive 100 calls. Yes.
The president of Nigeria are off your shoulder.
That is the way it is. It's not easy. But people look at leadership, the economic benefit in leadership. That is what they look at. The pressure, the responsibility, they don't look at it. And Chief Sunday Awoniyi of blessed memory said, if you come into politics to make a living, you will lose the purpose of sincerity. Because people look at what they deem to benefit. There are benefits in those offices. There is no gainsaying about that. But what it will tell on your head, it will tell on your psychology. Except you are not ready to do anything, because there are so many governors that will relax. They are not ready to anything. They are not ready to crack their brains. They are not ready to deliver anything. They just want to be governor, and they want to use propaganda to remain governor. Just use propaganda, whether it's religion, whether it's tribal or ethnic propaganda, to remain there. But if you really want to work, it's going to tell on you. It's going to tell on your head.
Okay.
So she's looking younger. I saw her too. Not only her, the wife of the former president, Buhari, is also looking younger now. The president himself is looking younger. Jonathan is also looking younger. You see, that is it. If you look at former vice president Osinbajo, he's very, very smart and looking younger now. He's not tired. He can sleep. He can now decide to sleep for a number of hours that he decides to sleep. Not, having meeting here, having meeting there. So, the woman is saying the truth. Mama Peace.
Okay.
He said the truth.
Okay.
And I congratulate her for being bold enough
to say the truth.
To say the truth.
Yes.
So that there will be no suspense in the camp of candidate shoppers. Let them focus on another person and leave her husband alone.
Okay. Well, Mama Peace is known to, speak truth to power, and she sets her mind no matter whose ox is gored. And she did mention that she's looking younger. She has no business returning to the villa as First Lady. Nigeria is a very, very complex society. A population that is close to 300 million people, and it's not easy to take the shoulders of everybody, because it's akin to taking Panadol for everybody's headache in this country as a leader. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, the program will continue. We're going to talk a little bit about Patience Jonathan when she talks about the 35% affirmative action, and then we'll shift gears to the PDP Governors Forum and the reaction that has continued to trail it. And we're going to talk about something that is trending, that is former Governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido's reaction, in addition to other people's reaction. But that will be after this short break. Don't go anywhere. We're going to open our telephone line so that you can begin to contribute. We'll be right back.
Imagine a beautiful world. That's our slogan at KAFTAN TV. Hello there. I am Ruben Okala.
Hello, I'm glad to have you join us again on the News on the Hour, reaching you live from our studio in the nation's capital.
And that has been the news. Many thanks for watching. My name is Fatima Abbas Hassan. I'm Bill Baba today.
I am Kirian.
The politics of Lagos State is still very much in the hands of the leaders.
My name is Dayo Omogun. I've not done a change of name.
To Adebayo Film and Theatre Arts Network.
We always dish out beautiful materials.
You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're still on to the Polity, reaching you live from the Abuja studio of King Adebayo Film and Theatre Arts Network, popularly known as KAFTAN Television. And here, we all imagine a beautiful world, because in the beginning, God created a beautiful world and then created humans and asked us to have dominion. Well, the conversation is still reactions trailing the comments, made by former First Lady, wife of former President Goodluck Jonathan. We're talking about Dame Patience Jonathan, where she said her husband has no business returning back to the presidential villa. Rather than doing that, she, is going to support the current President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to return to the villa in 2027. And she is a woman that is known to have supported the 35% affirmative action right from the time that percentage was ratified at the Beijing conference in China. And then she seized the opportunity during the weekend when she received that award to say that she will continually back the 35% affirmative action for women in governance. And she lamented that the repeated rejection of gender equality bills by the federal lawmakers, it is an aberration. She said, and I quote, "During Obasanjo's time, we worked for it and the executive approved 35%. My husband," that she's referring to former President Goodluck Jonathan, also maintained it. But when it comes to elective positions, the men dominate and shut us out. May God touch their hearts, she now prayed, at this point, to understand that we are their mothers, sisters, and friends. We are not trying to take power from them. We are trying to support them. End of quote. Mrs. Jonathan is known to support women empowerment, equality for women. Like she said, that the effort is not to take over all the elected positions for men, which is actually impossible. But, she has maintained the fact that women are always shut down when it comes to elective position. You can see at the National Assembly, that Senate, you only have 3 women out of 109. And then women are doing wonderfully across the globe, including Nigerian women in the global arena. Why is this the case in this?
Out of 360 in the House of Representatives.
And the House of Reps.
We have less than 20.
Less than 20 women in the House of Reps. So I forgot to mention
quite
that.
unfortunate.
It's quite unfortunate.
This is the kind of thing I want Mama Peace and every other notable Nigerian stakeholders saying they are supporting the president. Whether you are supporting the president or you are supporting the first lady or you are supporting her husband, I still want you to criticize some
of the policies.
Some of the policies. I want you to criticize some of the policies, and I want you to still call to order the first lady. Like in the case of Mama Peace, I want her to be able to call the first lady to order.
To order.
In so many things.
Yeah.
Wherever, in every program, you can call her to order. In your program, this so ethnic group has been changed.
Yes.
In your program, so state has been changed. Please call her to order. It doesn't mean you are no longer supporting the government. You are supporting the government, but you want the government to succeed more than the way they are succeeding. So we cannot be 100% followers. We must disagree to agree at a point in time. It doesn't mean we are no longer loyal. It doesn't mean you are no longer supporting. And the women, 35% affirmative women this participation. So don't shorten it down at the level of National Assembly.
Yeah.
What is the argument?
Exactly.
If you cannot give 35% elective positions to the women, how many percent can you give? That is the question I'm trying to raise. How many percent can you give? Can we give 20% to them? Do they even have up to 10% now? The answer is no. Because 10% of 109 cannot be 3. 10% of 360 cannot be 10, cannot be 20. And that is what we are having now. Are we giving them 10% to start with? Are we giving them, 15%? Are we giving them 20% to start with? Because we cannot just shut down a bill without giving reasons for shutting it down. Let women participate in governance. Let women participate in things that affect them. We have more women in Nigeria than men. So why are they being shortchanged? Now, I want to suggest we have 3 senators from each and every state. Then 1 in FCT. Can we have a general women representative in the Senate? There may be 2 general representatives of women in the House of Reps from each and every state. What do I mean by that? After we have 3 senatorial districts in each and every state and 1 in FCT. Then in each and every state, out of 36 states, can we have 1 general women representative so that we now have 4 senators? And the 4th person will be voted for by will be contested. That 4th seat will be contested by only women.
Only women.
Only women. And it will be contested all through the 3 senatorial districts. That is the way to do it. I think our lawmakers will look at that.
Okay.
Our lawmakers will look at that. Let the 4th one be contested by only women. Let the other 3, let women have the opportunity of contesting the other 3. If they win, they win. But let us know that they have 1 that is sacrosanct. Or if you want to deprive them from contesting the other 3, fine. But let them have 1 that is sacrosanct. Only women can contest.
Should that be backed by law?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Okay. Let's amend our constitution to do that. The constitution is made for us.
It's made for
we are not made
and
for
it's made by men.
It's made by men.
It didn't fall from heaven. It didn't fall from heaven.
Subject to amendment. If that is what is good for us now, let us do it. Let the National Assembly look at it. Let there be 1 sacrosanct seat for women from each and every state. And let that seat be contested across the 3 senatorial districts. The states that have understanding, let them rotate it from 1 senatorial district to another in each and every election. It depends on how they want to do it.
Okay.
That is the only way to solve this problem. We can't continue to have 3 women out of 109 men.
Exactly.
They are intimidated.
They're intimidated.
They're intimidated. Despite the fact that they are equal. Any senator is equal to the Senate president. The Senate president is just 1 among the equal. You understand? But because of what we are looking for, we used to attach so many importance to the office of the Senate President and other principal officers and presiding officers.
Why can't you have a woman,
because
woman Senate President?
It's not in the law that, oh, if you are not a Senate President, you cannot sponsor 100 bills. If you are not a Senate President, you cannot sponsor, you cannot move 1,000 motions. If you are not a Speaker, you cannot sponsor 200 bills. No. The only difference is that you are a principal officer, there are some other privileges attached to your office. That's the difference. But the job of a senator is lawmaking. And if, as a senator, whether you are a woman, whether you are disabled, as long as you can make as many law and make your contribution on the floor of the National Assembly, you are as equal as anybody.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if the Senate President has done nothing to amend the laws of Nigeria or to bring new ideas to the law, and you as ordinary floor member, you did that. To me, you are more a senator than the Senate President.
Okay. Olumuyiwa, thank you so very much. At this auspicious time, we're going to display our telephone number so that our viewers begin to call in to, be a part of this conversation by making it interactive, incisive, engaging, and even more conversational. Let me hear from you. Please begin to call in. The program is yours because it's your show. And we are still on to the Polity, reaching you live from the Abuja studio of King Adebayo Film and Theatre Arts Network. All of us here at this station always imagine a beautiful world. We're shifting gears now to another topical issue that has dominated the broad spectrum of media platform in the country and even attracting the international media. Well, in a move aimed at addressing the gale of defections or wave of defections or even tsunami, Tinubu tsunami as many media organizations call it, an internal crisis rocking it, governors elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, the party that held sway for 16 years from 1999 to 2015, met yesterday with former governors and other party stakeholders to strategize on its survival and forge a common front ahead of the 2027 general election. The governors also invited former PDP governors, members of the Board of Trustees, and former presiding officers of the National Assembly. It will be recalled that the rank of the PDP has been depleting following the defection of Governor Sherik Oborobori of Delta State, his predecessor, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, who was the vice presidential candidate to Atiku Abubakar in the 2023 presidential race, and the PDP structure in the state. Two, they all moved to the ruling All Progressives Congress, the APC, in addition to all the National Assembly members from Delta State who also moved to the All Progressive Congress, leaving their own political party, the PDP, upon which they all threw their heart in the race to get elected by the people to represent them. Well, we're also hearing that 3 Kebbi lawmakers, that is Senator Adamu Alero of Kebbi Central, Senator Yahya Abdullahi, Kebbi North, and Senator Garba Maidoki, Kebbi South, also dumped the opposition People's Democratic Party and then joined the All Progressives Congress after a meeting with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in a closed-door meeting last week Friday. Following the wave of defections, the PDP leaders convened yesterday's meeting to prevent the country from what they said into a one-party state. And many people are saying it is very, very impossible for Nigeria to move into one-party state because we have a state that is controlled by an opposition party, that is Anambra State. It was also learned that the PDP leaders addressed key issues, including the upcoming National Executive Committee meeting and the National Elective Convention, which is slated for 8th of August 2025. That's the later part of this year. That's the last quarter of this year. The meeting, it was further gathered, was convened to chart a way forward for the party. It was convened by the PDP Governors Forum and Governor of Bauchi State, Senator Bala Mohammed. According to what they're planning, they said it will help redefine the party's strategic direction ahead of 2027 general election. Olumuyiwa, we have, the People's Democratic Party is supposed to be the biggest opposition party in Nigeria. And the party held sway from 1999 to 2015 when they were booted out. And they continue to face depletion with the mass defection or mass exit from their ranks to the main, to the ruling party, the All Progressives Congress. What did you make of that meeting that was held yesterday? Because we have the likes of Wike, the current minister of the Federal Capital Territory. You know his position. Many people say he's one leg in the APC, one leg is PDP, because he's still a strong member and a foundation member and one of the biggest funders of the PDP, yet he's working for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he remains a committed member of the PDP and a committed member of the executive working for Nigeria under the leadership of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And, I don't want to go into the history of where he emerged to become, a minister. But when Oberuberi, Sheriff Oberuberi, the governor of Delta State, as well as his predecessor, Okowa defected to APC, he gave a press statement applauding their decision and said, and I quote, that Okowa made the best decision. He made the most strategic decision, that he has wisdom. How do you make of that meeting yesterday?
The meeting yesterday was long overdue.
Long overdue? Did you say that?
Yes, because I don't know why, whether constitutionally or it's not written in the Constitution, I don't know why a political party will go 3 months on a stretch without having stakeholders meeting.
Stakeholders meeting,
No matter how informal that meeting is, you are supposed to hold meeting consistently. But you see political parties don't have a meeting. And one thing that I notice about political parties, both the ruling party and the opposition parties, is that they think those parties exist for them alone, the card-carrying members. They have successfully schemed people like us out. That is why the ruling party, if the ruling party decide to appoint somebody that is competent in doing something, the card-carrying members will rebel against the nomination. That is why opposition parties think that the party is only meant for them. So the sacrifices they are supposed to make and stop every internal crisis so that they can concentrate on their role as opposition to give the ruling party credible opposition and challenge them on so many policies so that it will be so that they will change to the betterment, for the betterment of the people. They are not doing that. They are not doing that. If you look at Labour Party, they are embroiled in crisis. If you look at PDP, they are embroiled in crisis. The PDP cannot even follow their own constitutions, and that is where their problem started from before 2023. They can't follow their own constitution. So, if you cannot follow your own constitution, do you want to follow Nigeria constitution? No. I think PDP is not meant to be an opposition party. The people, the founding fathers, what they saw was a PDP that will continue to rule and rule and rule. And that was evident in the speech of, was it Vincent Ogbulafo, that said PDP will rule for 60 years. That was what they envisaged. So they never envisaged a situation whereby PDP will become an opposition party. So they are finding it difficult to function as one. So they are better as ruling party. Unfortunately, they are not in power. So if things has changed, then you must change your ways. You must redirect yourself. Now, the reality is that you are not an opposition. The party was not formed to be an opposition party. It was formed to be a ruling party. Now you have found yourself to be an opposition party. You must redirect yourself. In strategic management, if something is not working, you come back. You re-strategize, then you look at what you can do next to correct so many wrongs. But unfortunately, they are always quarreling within themselves, blaming another party for their woes. It's not right. It's not right. The party is there to give the ruling party a run for their money, so that Nigerians will benefit from good governance. If they challenge this, if they challenge the ruling party will do the right thing, then Nigerians will benefit. So the party is not there for the card-carrying members of the political party alone. It is there for all Nigerians.
Okay.
That is their role. And they must perform that role for democracy to be sustained. Talking about one-party state, no.
It cannot happen.
Even Anambra is not a one-party state. Anambra State is not a one-party state. And from 2006 or so.
At the subnational level.
ABGA has always won the governorship election in Anambra. But we have other parties there.
We have other parties.
We have Labour Party there. We have PDP there. Win election to National Assembly and State Assembly.
Yeah, these are the other tiers of
see, all those things are being said to coin sympathy from the society,
and create a narrative.
Which we are not interested. Put your house in order. Do the right thing. Follow your constitution. When there is a court judgment, I listened to former Governor Wike this morning. He said they are being clever by half. Supreme Court gave a judgment. Ayawu is supposed to be the National Secretary. They are changing it. They are changing. They are interpreting the judgment in a way that will favor some people and will not favor some people. You are supposed to, follow what the Supreme Court has said and do the right thing. Follow your own constitution. That's what we are saying. The fact that people are living, those people that you mentioned from Kebbi State, point of correction, they have not defected. The senators from Kebbi State, they have not defected.
They have not defected, yes.
They have not defected. It's still mere speculation that they will defect.
It's mere speculation, yes.
You understand?
It's just that
the governor of Akwa Ibom has not defected.
No, he has not.
He only said he will defect.
He will defect.
But he has not defected.
Yes.
There must be a letter read on the floor of the National Assembly for senators or House of Rep members to defect.
They have not done that.
There must be a resignated letter
from their ward
to their ward. As a governor, you must write to your ward chairman saying you are leaving the party.
Exactly.
So,
and the party you are joining must accept you at the ward level.
But those senators from Kebbi State, at least Adabalero and Yaya, Senator Yaya,
yes,
they were in APC prior to 2023
They were in
APC prior to 2023
yes.
election. So maybe what took them out of APC
was as a result of the internal wranglings, that they were denied, tickets.
Even the ruling party, they are settling their internal crisis state by state. In states where they have never ruled, they are trying their best to walk into the heart of those in power there. Okay. And those people are coming to them. So what stops the PDP from reconciling their people?
That's what that's the next question I'm going to ask you. For some of us as journalists, we've kept tab on unfolding political events within the country, and PDP is no exception. Some of us are reliably informed that the meeting was, was convened, which was supposed to center on tackling the party's internal crisis, which has triggered a series of high-profile defections to the All Progressives Congress. But at the meeting, so many people were missing, and they are very, very key. But let me mention those that attended the meeting. First of all, present at the meeting were 6 governors: Kale Mutfwang of Plateau State, Ademola Adeleke of Osun State, Shei Makinde of Oyo State, and the governor of Adamawa State, Amadu Umaru Fintiri, Peter Omba of Enugu State, and Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal, but conspicuously absent and without any, excuse, were Governor Umo Eno of Akwa Ibom State, Abu Kefas of Taraba State, Doediri of Bayelsa State, as well as the suspended governor of, he still remains governor because he just suspended, of River State, Siminalaye Fubara. They were absent. And Fubara's absence was as a result of the, which it has highlighted the widening cracks within the party, especially in states grappling with the internal leadership disputes or increase.
This is one of the things I talked about.
You talked about
inability to settle internal dispute. Even though Fubara can still be reinstated tomorrow by mere pronouncement from the president.
Yes.
Now, and the ratification from National Assembly. Now, what stopped Fubara from going for that meeting?
There's nothing stopping him.
They didn't work on him. Is it that they didn't work on him, or they didn't invite him, or they don't understand that even though he refuses, they say he should come back to government house in River State, and he refuses to go. He remains former governor.
He remains former governor. That's right.
Nobody can take that right from him.
His attendance.
Why is he not there? Why is he not there?
No, his attendance, I agree with you. Fubara attending that kind of meeting could
it's not an aberration. He has the right.
He could even change the dynamics.
He has the right to attend.
He has the right.
That meeting.
He still remains a governor, suspended governor.
Even though he's a member of the. Even though today he says he's no longer interested in being governor. He remains former governor.
Exactly.
So he is supposed to be there.
Okay, talking about former governor, others present included the acting national chairman of the PDP, Ambassador Ilya Damagun, former Bayelsa State Governor, Senator Seriake Dixon, former Osun State Governor, Olusegun Oyelola, former Cross River State Governor, Liel Imoke, former Enugu State Governor, Ifeanyi Ogwanyi, former Abia State Governor, Okezie Ikpeazu, and former Imo State Governor, Achike Udenwa. Like you said, even if he is a former, which he is not even a former, he has the right to be suspended governor. He has the right to be there. It is very, very possible that they fail to work on him for him to. And
just the way they fail to work on other people. Just the way they fail to work on their crisis. You know, once somebody is close to this, you know, groups. There are always camps within a group.
If Minister Nyesom Wike will attend that meeting, who has a running battle with similar Fubara, why not Fubara? That's the question you're asking. And many people are asking that same question.
The handlers of that political party, they are not doing their best.
They are not doing their best.
The stakeholders, from the BOT to the NWC to NEC, all of them, they are not doing their best for the party. And that is what and once they see you as belonging to this camp, oh no, they start scheming. They start scheming to the detriment of the generality of the party. You understand? The party now cannot even come out to say, oh, in 2027, we are zoning to south, we are zoning to the north. Because their hands are tied. Their hands are tied. Now, and once you are in leader, your hands are tied, you can't deliver. You can't deliver. Who are those in charge of zoning? According to PDP constitution. They should make a pronouncement and zone to this, wherever they want to zone to, in a just and equitable manner. Nothing, everyone will not fall.
Okay, let's take this caller. Let's hear this caller before I ask the next question. I know our viewers have been trying to reach us. The telephone lines are not helping at all. You can hear even the one who's trying to reach us. Hello, how are you? Good afternoon. So embarrassing. We live in a nation where we cannot even things that are simple as connectivity of networks, we cannot have them.
Private business owners rip off customers.
Exactly, they just rip off customers. And then regulatory bodies are not doing anything. This is one of the have a National Assembly that cannot bring down the hammer on these service providers. This is so embarrassing. We have to say all these things. Well, let's go back to our. It will not stop us from discussing, this topic, and we have to say it as it is. Now, one of the reasons for the deep-seated crisis within the PDP, and their inability to resolve their internal crisis, give rise to this thing, a spectacle that I'm going to mention. You know, someone that is a foundation member that has been funding the party, that rose the flag on the platform of that party in the 2023 presidential election, was not present at that meeting, and that is Atiku Abubakar. I want you to answer that question, but let's listen to Pio from River State. Pio, how is River State? Good afternoon.
I'm okay.
Okay, we're okay here.
River State is fine.
We're okay in Abuja. Your thought, please. We have been listening to our conversation. What do you have to say?
With the sole administrator, River State is calm.
Okay. Good to hear that. That's what we want to hear. We want peace across the country.
On the gender issue.
Go ahead. You're gender sensitive, right?
River State has respect for women.
Okay.
In this state, River State brought one woman.
Okay.
Deputy Governor, River State, Ipan. All the women.
Okay.
In the House of Rep, they have women. Any assembly that has two constituencies, one with the woman. So I think with what our mama said, Mama Patient, we are following suit.
Okay.
So River State has respect for women.
Okay.
Thank you.
Beautiful. You know, he is reacting to President Jonathan's call for 35% affirmative action. He said, River State is different. He said, Deputy Governor, where you have a representative, Senate 2, there's a woman. Deputy Governor is a woman. Everywhere. He went down the tiers of governance at the subnational level to say, women, they are happy.
Who are you going to give the credit to?
Yeah, that's it.
Who are you going to give the credit to? The credit will go to the government. Minister Wike.
Minister Wike, yeah.
Minister Wike, he selected them. But is anybody talking about it?
The structure, yeah.
Is anybody talking about it?
Okay, let's go back to my question. At that meeting yesterday, former Senate President, who has also been a presidential candidate, Bukola Saraki, was at the meeting. Former Akwa State Governor, Odom Emmanuel, was at the meeting. Nyesom Wike was at the meeting. Alleged Atiku Abubakar, presidential candidate in the last election, who slugged it out with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as well as Peter Obi, was conspicuously absent. How damaging could that be? Is that, like you have alluded to the fact that they have not been strategic enough. Exactly. People will be asking, why was he not there?
Former President Goodluck Jonathan was not there. There are so many
Former
other
President
persons
Jonathan wasn't there.
They were not there. So
Namadi Sambo wasn't there.
So I don't know how their managerial skill. You cannot just claim to have been in politics for 50 decades.
Yes.
And
then you lack
what you are doing now
strategic
is alien to what I hear somebody say something that is not against old people, is against old ideas. I think most of them, they have old ideas and they don't have youths around them to tell them so many things. According to, there are things people want to hear. There are things you are supposed to tell the people. There are things that are alien to the generation that we have now.
Yeah.
You understand? The way you solve problem, the MD of one oil company 50 years ago, if he comes now to the same oil company, he may find it difficult to manage the same oil company.
I agree with you.
He may find it difficult because things have changed.
Things have changed.
Everything has changed. So you can't continue to say because you were in House of Reps in 1979, then you of course, they are the people that have the resources to move from one place to another. And that is what politics is all about. Once you can move from one place to another, I say you're a politician. But the strategic aspect of playing politics is not there. It's not there. The meeting, most of the people that attended the meeting are those that are on their way out of the party. According to a list that was circulated some time ago, the former governor of Enugu State, former governor of Abia State, I saw so many others. They've been nominated to represent Nigeria in our various missions. So what are they going to do for PDP if they are nominated? Will they resign when it's time for election in the next 2 years to support the candidate of PDP? And I must tell you that even the governors that attended, if the PDP failed to do the right thing on this issue of zoning, they may find it difficult to support the party. You know why? Like the governor of Osun State, if he turns to, okay, I want to support the candidate of this thing, of PDP, and the candidates from the north, and when it is time for him to hand over, he's not talking about zoning within the state. People will remind him. At the national level, did you talk about zoning when the South was supposed to hold sway in presidency? You said no, that there's nothing like zoning. Now, why are you talking about zoning in Osun State? So those are the things you must emphasize what will be used against you in the nearest future. So they may find it difficult to talk to their people. No, they may say, we have no choice. We have to support the candidate of our party. But deep down them, they may not be able to support. They may not have the moral right to tell their people within their state, come and support so person. Because there are so many questions to be asked. So instead of saying President Goodluck Jonathan is the only person that can come from the South, okay, let's do the right thing soon to the South. Let the South go and microzone within themselves. That is how it's been done. So to the South, then South, Southeast, and Southwest, we now go and say, which one is our best option? Which one is our best bet? We zone. Then once they microzone, then within that zone, the people from the zone, they will now slug it out and bring their best. But saying somebody openly saying, just the way former Governor Tambuwa said that no Southerner can win election for PDP.
Okay.
In 2023. That's quite unfortunate.
Let's talking about a lot of, you've said there are lots of questions to ask, and I've always asked these questions. I have a reliable source at that meeting, and he told me that one of the issues slated for discussion was the ongoing leadership crisis within the party, particularly concerning the roles of the national secretary, and you are aware of it, and the acting national chairman, Ambassador Damaguru. But I've also tried to impress on him to tell me what was resolved. I couldn't be able to get credible response from that person. I'm still pressing on using other sources. But it speaks to their inability to solve their crisis, because that national secretary issue still lingers. It has not been resolved, although there's litigation on it.
According to that, no, the Supreme Court has put it to rest. According to the judgment of the Supreme Court,
and it's final.
IAO is supposed to be the national secretary.
Exactly.
I am not.
So where is this slated for discussion?
Because of ego of some people.
Selfish interest.
Selfish interest. So I listened to Wike this morning
saying
if we don't agree, that if we don't agree, if the right thing is not done,
exactly.
And I'm not seeing where it is an aberration for you to say the right thing must be done. For you to say it's not an aberration for you to say the right thing must be done.
The right thing must be done.
You even said something that they are planning to hold a convention where they will say, oh, the party chairman should go to the south so that they will be able to produce
another
candidate that they are waiting for them. So if don't do things that will destroy your party, don't do things that will cause crisis within your party. You have schemed and schemed and schemed from 2022 to date. It has not worked. So why are you doing the same thing? It's only insanity that will make somebody do the same thing and expect different results. Why Wike said this, they told them, what about this, what about this? They said they've won the election. I don't know who told them they won the election in 2023. Now they will be saying they've won the election in 2027 when everybody is leaving. You cannot take the role of stakeholders away from any association or any group.
There's a follow-up to that. You know, one of the agenda also at that meeting was they were supposed to set the foundation for the PDP's 2027 election strategy. Are these ongoing crises not impediments to that strategy?
They are. And there's no leadership within PDP right now. If there's no national chairman, we have somebody that's acting. If it's not doing the right thing, we have BOT chairman. So I did say until it was announced that everybody in Delta State were defecting, that was when they got wind of the situation. No. They should have moved. You relocate to Delta. The BOT should relocate their secretariat to Delta. The NWC should relocate their secretariat to Delta. And sit down there and say, please, let us build this house. Don't let us destroy this house. But everybody is complicit. They are just sitting. You know? I don't know the kind of strategy they want to use. Maybe there is something they are doing that we are not aware of. Or maybe they are doing all they are doing so that everybody will just go one day and join the coalition that is being talked about. Because one of the reasons I think former Vice President Atiku Abubakar did not attend it is because of his coalition. Maybe he's now focusing on coalition. I don't know. I'm just saying, maybe he's not focusing on coalition. Exactly. Because according to PDP, they were not briefed about the issue of coalition before it went ahead to hold that meeting.
Exactly.
So, and I think if there's going to be a coalition, are you saying the name of PDP will go, Labour will go, SDP will go? Are you saying, no, if people are to join a coalition, no, it's PDP that is supposed to be joined. The other parties should join PDP, collapse to PDP. That is what they are supposed to be talking about.
Okay, Olumuyiwa, well, this program is supposed to be conversational because we usually open our telephone line, is there on the screen. But our viewers who are vibrant callers, I'm very, very sure they have been trying to call us. Each day that we come up with topical issues such as this, we get nothing less than 20-25 Nigerians are talking to us, not adding the drop calls that we usually receive. But we know that our service providers are not doing any thing that will encourage conversation with telephone lines. This is a great disservice to a country, a very, very populous country such as this. By the time you open your telephone lines, you make more money, but the lines are epileptic. Someone has tried to reach us, the thing just ended. I'm going to ask you this question. It will appear to be a very, very long analysis from you because the calls are not coming in, so it will be left to you to explore them. There are off-season governorship elections are looming in about 3 states: Anambra State, Ekiti State, and Osun State. And the PDP leaders will try to explore ways to mobilize resources and galvanize support for PDP candidates. Take us through what you think you can unpack, what the PDP can unpack in governorship elections in Anambra State, Ekiti State, and Osun State. I don't think they are prepared.
I don't think so. Who is the candidate of PDP in Anambra State? The last time I heard, I
want to hear that from you.
There was a candidate.
Let's attempt to listen to Chinedu from Abia State. Chinedu from Abia State, please go ahead. Turn down the volume of your TV and then go ahead, Chinedu. Turn down the volume and go ahead, Chinedu. Let's hear from you. Chinedu, go ahead.
My own suggestion here about Nigerian politics.
Yeah.
About this Nigerian politics, my own suggestion is that I think they should give Nigerians electoral reforms.
Okay.
Everything will be solved by itself.
What kind of
all this, somebody from this party, person from this party,
okay.
all those things will be stopped automatically. So they should give us electoral reform.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Chinedu. But I want you to answer that question, then react to what Chinedu said. Anambra State, Ekiti, Osun State, off-season elections looming.
Both PDP and Labour and SDP that I thought would be coming to make a statement. I think they are not prepared.
They are not prepared.
Who is the candidate of PDP in Anambra State?
Is our catch?
Who is the candidate of PDP?
PDP.
Catch,
Okay.
Who is the candidate
APC.
of opposition?
APC.
Who is the candidate of PDP? Who is likely to be the candidate of PDP in Ekiti State when every member of PDP
has moved to?
Those that are not moved, they are supporting the incumbent governor. Then they have a candidate in Osun State who is partly supporting the person at the helm of affairs at the center. Those things are not what we are seeing. Young politicians are not learning.
They are not learning anything
from what PDP is doing.
I agree with you.
You understand? And they are angry with the ruling party. Now, if the young people are angry with the ruling party, okay, they should have opposition parties to learn from. Unfortunately, there's nothing to learn from opposition politicians. There's nothing to learn from opposition politicians. As the last time I heard, they have no candidate in Anambra State. And it has always been Abga. They have not been able to bring that gene. That means there's something that Abga is doing that other parties are not doing there.
Okay, let's listen to Mohammed from Maiduguri. Mohammed, thanks for joining us this afternoon. It's your turn, please, because it's your show. You are a regular caller.
Good afternoon.
How is the heat in Maiduguri? I know it's very hot, right?
Almighty heat. Say here, if you are 20 degrees somewhere, here is 2 times 2, In fact, some people cannot survive here, honestly speaking.
That's right.
God is wonderful. And you can see people are even going around. You can see wheelbarrow pusher is pushing his wheelbarrow on that sun. You can imagine. Somebody from another part of Nigeria cannot survive here. Anyway, sir, that is how God used to do it. So wonders. This is just a miracle. Honestly, this form anyway, let me just go to my point. This issue of defection, please, we should tell our politicians, it is not the defection that matters. It is the attitude of individual that matters. To me, whichever party you are, if you are good, you are good. It is not party that will make somebody to look good. Honestly, please, we shouldn't deceive ourselves. That is one thing in the politics of this Nigeria. Before, people didn't know. People were committed to political party name as something. But now, honestly speaking, there is nothing like political party. It is individuality. People even vote for individuals who they feel can deliver, who they feel he can do. It's no longer a party issue. You cannot tell me you bring somebody who I know is bad, and then simply because he's covering under that political party banner, then I should vote for him. It cannot be you. You may be in that party, but your conscience will not allow you to vote for that person. So for that reason, this defection is not because of any public interest. It is just for individual interest. We've seen it before now. We have seen it before. All of us seen it. Somebody who was a senator or governor in one political party, senator in another party, will change, will miraculously come into, particularly in the Boko Haram case.
Yakubu Dogara. We've all seen it. How many parties did they move in and out? Now the speculation is that the 2027 Tinubu may pick Yakubu Dogara as a vice president candidate. People are saying he should not try to honestly speaking. If he tries, nobody will vote for him. He knows. Let me tell him, you are in Abuja. If you want to contest, maintain with his partners. Let them continue and change from the wrong things they are doing to the right thing. Then Nigerians can consider them. That is my own advice, though.
Thank you.
If not, with the way things are going, where whatever is being announced on the page of newspaper or television, you don't see it physically on the ground, that is wrong. Oh. There should be monitoring mechanism. Honestly speaking, Nigerians are very loyal, very humble, prayerful. But sometimes our leaders don't consider all this. When they want to make a decision, they just decide issue inside boardroom, thinking that all things are well. Honestly, all things are not well.
Thank you.
Please read. Religiously and what have you. All of us are Nigerians. We should be prayerful and be helping our leaders. In fact, to me, praying for leader is a worship. We have to pray for the leader. So that if the leader will walk good, all of us will benefit from his goodness. If the leader go wrong, two elephant fighting, who is suffering? It's not the grass. So for that reason, we have to be praying for him. Get the president himself and let him function his governor. He has so many instruments. He has so many leadership instruments to use. Now, River State governor was suspended. Let another person try his own. Like he also be suspended. I think they will take blessing. But this is not what we want. What we want is prevention should be better than cure. Thank you, please.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mohammed.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. Please, we are commenting divergent views here. That is his opinion. And Mohammed has always spoken truth to power, you know, saying his mind whenever we open our telephone lines for viewers to call in. Let's talk about the reaction of the former Jigawa State Governor. Sule Lamido is a former Minister of Foreign Affairs and a former Governor of Jigawa State, and everybody knows that he is Aminu Kano disciple on Aminu Kano School of Political Thought. But let's take this caller. And that will be our last call. Please go ahead. Your name and where you're calling from.
I'm Olumuyiwa Francis, calling from Ilorin.
Olaniyi Francis, please go ahead. What do you have to say?
I think Nigerians are weary of slow-bellied politicians. And they want a new thing. I think what we should do is that the South should convene a summit of when politicians and redesign what they want and where they are going. You see, politicians have been migrating either from PDP to APC, from APC to PDP. The same set of people are being recycled. I think Nigerians are weary of them. So I advise that the South should convene a summit. The North should convene a summit and redesign the type of political parties they want, and the issue of our constitution that is causing confusion should be resolved.
Okay. Are you done?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I wanted to
say
add
something.
that.
He said moving from one place to another.
Yes.
This one, he called from Ilorin.
Yes, he called from Ilorin.
And I think I want to talk about the former governor of Kwara State, Senator Bukola Saraki.
Yeah.
He was appointed to chair the reconciliatory committee by the PDP stakeholders.
Yeah.
Now, what will he be telling the people? That they should not defect. Somebody that defected from PDP, from APP or AMPP to PDP, he became governor. Then
he's a serial defector.
From PDP, he defected to, as a senator, him and 10 others, they defected to APC. He became Senate President. As Senate President, he defected back to PDP. So what will he be telling people? Just like Mohammed from Maiduguri said, that Dogara and Bukola, they have moved from one place to another severally.
Yeah.
And that is the truth. That is the truth. They were sitting as Speaker and Senate President, they moved. So that appointment is an aberration to me.
Yeah.
That appointment is an aberration.
It's an aberration.
We have somebody like Babangida Aliyu who has never defected.
Yeah.
We have other people that has never defected. You cannot come and be preaching what you have done before for people not to do it. No.
You're preaching against it.
No. So we are talking about.
So let's talk about Sule Lamido. Sule Lamido is a student of the Talakawa School of Thought of Aminu Kano of blessed memory, and he was also Minister of Foreign Affairs, former governor of Jigawa State. There was congresses, PDP congresses at the Aminu Kano Triangle in Jigawa State, where he delivered a keynote address, and there he was emphatic that the ruling All Progressives Congress is likely to split soon, and then with its national chairman, that's Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, and others possibly defecting to the People's Democratic Party. We are talking about mass movement out of the People's Democratic Party. Sule Lamido said even the national chairman of the APC is likely to move to the... And he was so emphatic, he said there will soon be a split. Nigeria will witness a split, an implosion within the the All Progressives Congress. Why do you think, can you open his mind and tell us, where do you think perhaps he must have said so? Was it a political rhetoric again?
I think it's a political rhetoric, but at the same time, we must be wary of overlooking because there's nothing politicians cannot do. So if in Nigeria somebody tells you that you saw elephant flying, you must ask him what's the color of the elephant. It is possible for anybody to defect. We've seen former chairmen of political parties defect to other parties. But we've not seen incumbent chairman defect. But it's very possible. But I think it is just rhetoric. For people to defect, something must have happened. People must have worked on their psyche. People must have, politics is give and take. Democracy is give and take. You give this to this, you give this to that. What we can say, Nyedeba. So it is like that, whether we like it or not. Even former president of America said it, Obama, that democracy is all about demanding for things. And when he tells people, we gave you this, they will say, no, you gave first that, then. We want another one now. That is democracy. You understand? What is being given is what differs from country to country. But the most important thing in politics is that something must be given for loyalty.
Okay, my last question. Do you believe that there will be implosion within the APC?
PDP is not working towards that.
Okay.
PDP is not working towards that.
They are not strategic.
When you are not working to keep the ones you have, how do you want to work to bring others that are not yours? They are not working towards that. There can be implosion in any party. But it depends on other parties. You work for it. You talk to them. You engage people. You give them, you tell them what is just and fair to them and their people. But when you are not fair to yourself within your party, you can't be fair to anybody. Once you are not fair to yourself, those that are within you, within the party, there is no fairness among them. So how do you want to bring outsiders to come and join you? That's the problem. It must be worked on. There are foot soldiers of the present president working day and night to make sure that they gain more members. It's just like a football club. No player will go and tell a club that I want to come and play for you. No. They have scouts that will go and scout those players, talented players, and work on them and convince them out behind camera to join the club. And when it is time, they announce that somebody is so person. You see, personal terms are agreed upon between clubs and players before you go and agree with the club that is selling. That is it. You must talk to people one-on-one. But PDP is not doing that. Labour is not doing that. SDP is not doing that. SDP is only interested in doing the biddings of somebody who is aggrieved. No, we want all of them to be verifiable. We want to live in a country where both ruling party and opposition party will work for the benefit of the masses and the people. That is the kind of politics that we want. That is the kind of democracy that we want.
Olumuyiwa, thank you so very much. I would have loved us to continue, on and on and on and on and on, because you are a reporter's delight. It's a pleasure interviewing you. No wonder, because you are also a communicator, you are a journalist like me. But I must thank you most profoundly for finding time to come and do justice by unpacking the topics that we have today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so very much. Olumuyiwa, I don't take your presence for granted each day you come to the studio. Well,
thank you.
INEC has delayed conducting 12 by-elections in 12 states. By-elections in 12 states. That's going to be our topic, in addition to X-raying the leadership, the military junta in Burkina Faso on Wednesday. 2 days is not far away in the political scene. That will be in addition to any topic that may unfold between now and Wednesday. But until we see you tomorrow with Dayo Omogun, who is going to lead the conversation tomorrow, my name remains Macauley Hunohashi, saying thanks very much on behalf of all the production crew that make this program possible. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.